With the special values, we get the former known functionality of default and highlight presets, plus a real nice addition to our workflow, because we can have a real reference to our default highlight or lowlight presets, for example. Let's see how this works. We have a situation where we have a sequence running with a queue, and you can see our Mistrals are at default position. Now we want to change this default position because we have most of the times in our sequences, in our queues, we have a different position, and this should be always our start position. What we could do now is we select our fixtures and we give a position preset. And this position should be the new default. Now what we can do is to say store with the store key, and we press MA and dot to get the default, to say store default. And we should say please. You can see now there is the same store pop-up as for all the different store operations. So for presets, for queues, it is exactly the same for storing default values now. So the store functionality is very consistent. We say just merge, and when we clear our programmer, you can see that the fixture sheet shows now this preset as the default value. And the great thing about this is that this is a real preset reference here. Let's have a look at a fixture. So we select this first fixture, we do a right click, or we say edit this fixture, and we can see the different columns for the default preset here, for a highlight preset and a lowlight preset. And here you can see that with the store default operation we did, this position preset was stored real as a reference for the default values of pan and tilt. That means when we change the preset now, this reference will change our default position as well. And that's of course a nice workflow. Remember, you have one preset where you define your default position, and due to different stages, different setups, this default position changes, or the preset changes, and your default position is adjusted automatically. That's great. So let's see how this works. We select our fixtures again, and we select this preset we used, and we just change the values a little bit. So tilt-wise, we go a little bit more to the front. You can see it on the output. And we press update to update this preset. When we clear our programmer now, you can see that we have again the real reference to our default position, and the new updated position preset is also our default position now. So a real reference within our default values. To get rid of this, we could also say store again. So it is the same store operation. So we would select our fixtures and we make the position active, and we would say again store MA dot for store default, please, and we say remove. So the same store functionality, the same store consistency we have with presets or queues as well. When we clear the programmer now, you can see we are back to default. When we just edit a fixture and want to change this for a separate or for a dedicated fixture, we could do this. And of course, in these columns we had a look at before, we could choose the default preset as well. So we could go in here, we could say we want to choose a position preset, which should be in this case the special preset, for example, as well. So for pan and tilt we do this like this, and we have changed the default position immediately. But what if we want to have the value without the preset reference? We have some functionalities here as well, because what we can say in this default preset column is that we want to extract the value. So in this case, we get the new default value. You can see the default value is exactly the same, but our fixture sheet will not show us the preset reference anymore because we extracted the value and we only have this new default value here. So you can decide if you want to use the new workflow of special values to get a real preset reference for your default, highlight or lowlight values, or you could extract the values as well to just have the hard values without the preset reference in here.